Welcome back. This is our second segment of the day. This is the Athletes Incorporated. Catch us on ibtv.us, Roku TV, YouTube. Comment, subscribe, like what we got going on. I'm Trey, and this is Harold, and we're going to tell you all about the Olympics and pretty much kind of overview everything that happened. Dad, what do you think happened? I know the closing ceremony is today. It's going to be aired on Monday, I believe.
Right.
What do you got for us?
Well, the closing ceremony, it's kind of the whole theme of the Winter Olympics this year. It's almost like reality TV. The people are waiting to see the Tongan kid who will come out in the sub-zero weather and be greased up and not have on a shirt and stuff.
He took 27th over the field, by the way, folks.
They're all excited about that. It's with the medal count and what has went on for the U.S., they're going to have to sit down and decide exactly what it is they want to do about their participation in the Olympics. You're talking about a country, Norway had the number one medal count. They had 39 medals, 14 gold. Yeah. That's a country of 5 million people. U.S. is all the way down in fourth. But from the top down, it's been more of a entertainment reality TV type thing that the United States Olympics that we've sent over, going to the Weir kid and Lipinski. I mean, putting on almost a comedy show. Yeah. Of what his hairdo is going to be that day and how many rhinestones she's going to have in her headset. Right. I mean, of course, I think you should have fun with it, and but to make it as though it's not important, or to make not to be a little bit serious about things, just didn't. And then when the kid Shaun White, is it?
Shaun White. Yeah.
When Shaun White won and did this, still the greatest performance ever. Yeah. Instead of dwelling on that, they went back into the background, reality TV type stuff, what he'd been doing years before, and so he's apologizing about this and that, and not able to, I mean, I didn't see one of the medal.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And we certainly should have seen our U.S. women who won the gold medal in just probably the most exciting way that you could ever win a gold medal. Unbelievable competition with the Canadians, and to pull that out, and for us not to show them on the medal stand.
20 years, too.
Yeah, 20 years in between a gold, and for us not to see them on the medal stand, and instead seeing Weir and Lipinski yak it up as if they're getting ready to be.
With a Canadian girl take off her silver. Right. I don't care about that. Right. I want to see our girls win.
Right.
And they didn't do Lindsey Vonn, who's going to be, when everything's said and done, Lindsey Vonn, folks, if you don't know who she is, she's one of the most decorated Olympians of my time period, and I'm 30. This was going to be her last Olympics, and she only took a bronze. Yeah. And there wasn't really much said about that. Yeah. And her father was even kind of...
Yeah, this doesn't hurt her legacy. She's the greatest American skier ever. Male, female.
Male or female, yeah.
And then right behind her is the Schifrin young lady. Yeah. She won a gold and a silver. She's way ahead of where Lindsey was at the same age and at the same point. So here are two young women who are really, really dedicated to their craft, but we don't have one male who is that dedicated to the craft anymore.
Shaun White, I think, is. Shaun White is.
I'm talking about skiers.
Skiers, yeah.
I'm talking about, and then still on the international scene, that GS, the downhill, those are the big ones. That's what really takes it. I mean, the snowboarding for a lot of folks still is a lot of exhibition type stuff and a lot of fun stuff for the kids to do. Yeah. But that's not that's like comparing the classic ballet to modern dance. It's beautiful, but classic ballet, that classic. But I just wanted to read out for you folks that it went Norway, Germany, Canada, USA, and then the Netherlands. You see some China. China didn't even send a team. They were, we're not going to do this, so there's no reason for us. Now, I think they did send a few.
They sent a few guys,
just a few speed skaters,
and some figure skaters, I think.
Yeah, but it's getting to the point where I'm wondering whether in the foreseeable future, that would be the next 2-3 Olympic periods, if we're going to see the Winter Olympics as the Winter Olympics. Right now, folks, if you're a speed skater, if you're a skier, if you're a skater like mixed pairs, the World Championship is way more important and worth way more as far as endorsements than an Olympic medal.
Which is sad, I think. And kind of piggybacking on that, our men's hockey team was a big disappointment. And
But there's a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't know this, but we didn't send any of our professionals to the games. There was all people from college like DU and Michigan. So we didn't send any of our NHL stars to the Olympics. So I think if we want to...
But they had their
pros.
They had their pros. So we had our kids playing against professionals
grown men.
Because the NHL said no, they wouldn't shut down for the Olympics like they had subsequent to this. And it really showed. But still, our women were just unbelievable. You know, our young lady from Lakewood wasn't in the game when they had the shootout and stuff to win it, but she did a fine job. We also need to mention our young lady from Denver, who was the first time for her, Lauren Gibbs.
Okay.
She won the silver medal with the bobsled.
Yeah.
And then we'd really be remiss, folks, not to mention that the men's curling won a gold. So
that's my. Hey, listen, folks. If you're ever bored on a Wednesday, it's snowing or raining, check out curling. So.
And if you're really bored or you want to get it, folks, there's 3 different curling clubs here in the area that you can get to. The Denver Curling Club is in Golden, Colorado. That's probably the most
known.
It's the most known and probably the cheapest way to go. They have a $40 class if you want to be introduced to curling and learn that. Then the Ritchie Center out at DU, a little step above that. And then if you have money, go down to Colorado Springs to the Broadmoor.
Ooh.
And the Broadmoor has their curling group,
right,
which I'm quite sure you might have to be a member.
You might have to apply.
Yeah, might have to apply for that. But I would think that we would see a real resurgence in the curling, and people want to see that. Now, man, just before we go, we wanted to speak a little bit about
we had some overflow with the NFL stuff. I still wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the NFL stuff. Number one, Blake Bortles with the Jackson Jaguars signed a new contract. Okay, it's worth with incentives $66 million, 54.5 without the incentives, 26.5 guaranteed. So what does that tell you, folks? If you've been paying attention and watching us, that quarterback market for Kirk Cousins is shrinking. Okay,
yes.
That's number one. So we're going to talk about that in the future. I think he's only going to go one of 2 ways: the Jets or the Broncos. I personally, you can comment on it. I personally don't want to see a Kirk Cousins in a Denver uniform, but that's a story for another time. And then also, earlier this week, I think it was on Thursday, Jonathan Martin, who was with the Miami Dolphins, who was dealt with some serious bullying with a player named Richie Incognito, actually was caught on Snapchat with a gun, and he was really close to his high school. And, you know, due to these recent events with what's going on down in Florida and the shootings that are going on, it's just completely inappropriate. You know, Dad, I know you were a head football coach on every level. Is bullying something in the NFL that's just going to happen? Is that, or you have to have a thicker skin?
His was an extreme event, but what we have in the NFL that trickles down and is very wrong, and from the commissioner to the coaches don't address, is this hazing. Yeah. That's what starts the bullying and makes it okay. Right. Every time we'll see at the end of the Bronco practice, one of the Bronco rookies taped to a pole, hair cut up all funny. Yeah. That's hazing. That's demeaning and degrading and should not be allowed. But as it really comes out to, Trey, as we draw this to an end, folks, is that this young man has been known since the time at Stanford that he had emotional and mental problems, and they weren't addressed. Yeah. And that's why that supposed bullying was allowed to go on. Yeah. You can't really do that to a grown man in that type of athletic thing, except the little hazing that they have at the end with the rookies. Other than that, no one can do that to another person because it turned to a serious fight.
Right.
But you know, I'm hoping that he gets help. He needs mental help,
Absolutely.
obviously, and let the football go. But listen, folks, we're going to wrap this up right here. Thanks so much. We're going to come back with a third segment and talk about what's going on in NCAA.